Hello, Tar Heel Nation. We are back with another episode, our 155th episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dan DeWitt, and we're rolling. The season's rolling. We're 3 games in now, and there's no end in sight. I was just looking ahead to the schedule a little bit, and we got 2 more non-conference games that we'll preview here later in this show, and then we're into some big-time non-conference games. We're into Christmas break and right into the ACC schedule. No better time than this with college basketball going on. There's still football going on. If you're a football guy, definitely lean towards basketball for me. And I couldn't be more excited to be here. And we're back to weekly podcasts here on the UNC Hoops Talk podcast, coming to you almost every week. I probably take about 3 weeks off during the season. And just excited to be here talking to you guys. I'm glad that you're decided to listen and join in and uniting Tar Heel Nation. And I just thank you so much. And we're going to jump into recapping the last 2 games this week. We're going to preview the next 2 we got coming up before the next podcast, and then take our new look around college basketball and a look at the Duke Sucks segment. So stick to the end for those. But let's jump in. We had Elon. Let's see. Let me look at the schedule here real quick. That was last week, Friday. So, again, the last podcast, we covered the exhibition in the Wofford game. Good win at Wofford. We go on the road to Elon, open up the Schar Center on Friday night. And, I'm not going to spend a ton of time. This may be a little bit of a shorter podcast anyway because both games we won so easily. And I don't want to waste your time talking about those wins. I'd rather save up and bank that time for kind of like Roy Williams banking up those timeouts, right? I want to bank up your listening time for when we really get into some of those big time games and maybe we can really discuss them. Elon, we go there Friday night. Pretty easy win for the Tar Heels. We won 116-67. Halftime was 63-45. Really nothing in question here. Ever. Roy still, and I do think I agree with him. Obviously it's Roy Williams. I'm going to agree with him and go with what he says, but he hasn't been happy with the defense this year, and our defense hasn't been great. But I mean, what do you expect at the beginning of the season? You're not going to come out and play your best defense at the beginning of the season, and that's why he gets paid what he gets paid, and that's why it's his job to get him better. But we do look pretty good offensively, and like I said, I think we play good defense. It's not like we're horrible. Roy says, they're missing open shots, but I think, obviously we have something to do about that as well. Stats-wise, team stats-wise, at first, we out-rebounded them 60-31, 24-10 on the offensive rebounds. Let's see, we had 18 assists to 11 turnovers, probably a little bit high for a game like this, but again, you start to just human nature get sloppy when you're winning so easily. But really the positive here is nobody had more than 1 turnover except Cam Johnson, who actually had 4 turnovers. So that's not great, but to see our point guards only have 1. Seventh Woods had 0. I mean that's really good. We had 5 blocks, but 2 of them were Caleb Ellis in junk time into the 4 minutes he played. We had 12 steals. Let's see, shooting-wise, we shot 52% for the game. We were 29% from three-point line, not great. 3 for 11 in the first half, 4 for 13 in the second half. Free throws, we were 70%, pretty good in the first half, 10 for 12. Individually, led by Cam Johnson, had 21 points, shot 7 for 11. So obviously he got those points, but we talked about Fletcher McGee for Wofford, got 21 points, but it was on 23 shots. Pretty efficient here, 7 for 11. He was 2 for 3 shooting from three-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And just looking at the free throw shooting here really quick, as a whole team, we were really good. Starters-wise, Garrison Brooks 1 for 2, Luke 2 for 2, Kobe 2 for 2, Cam, as I said, 5 for 5. Kenny's really the only 1 for 3. But Seventh Woods 1 for 1. Leaky Black was 4 for 5 from the free throw line. For those freshmen stepping up, Kobe looks really good from the free throw line, but obviously Leaky as well. But then Nasir Little as well, 21 points, and again the efficiency, 9 for 13. shooting from the field. He was 2 for 3 from three, which if he can knock down threes, it just makes him that much more dangerous and hard to guard. He also had 7 rebounds. I should mention Cam Johnson had 5 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. But yeah, Nasir Little 7 rebounds, 5 of his were offensive rebounds. He had 3 steals as well, including the one that got the breakaway dunk. I'm sure you've seen, where Jones Angel says almost took off from the free throw line. He was obviously inside that, but still impressive. And that was his safe dunk, if you read the article by Adam Lucas afterwards. Kobe White, 14 points, 5 for 10 shooting. So again, 50% from the field is really good for a guard. 2 for 6 from the three-point line. Not bad, I would say. I don't think we want him being our main three-point shooter, but you get him confidence and knock him down. I like it. Let's see here. Sterling Manley actually bounced back. We talked about, he was not good in the Wofford game, but got more minutes, 15 minutes in this one. Gave us 11 points, 5 for 10 shooting. So got a lot of shots off in those 11 minutes. 8 rebounds, a block in there. Let's see, Garrison Brooks, not quite as much, just 16 minutes. So they split pretty evenly this time, but still productive for Garrison. Let's see here. He had 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 for 5 shooting. So again, good efficiency. Luke only had 8 points, but did have 10 rebounds. Luke, well, I guess I'll take back. Kenny did not shoot well. He was still over 7. I think, he missed his first 10 shots. It was the big talking point going into the Stanford game here. 0 for 5 from three-point line. But otherwise, Luke, not really efficient shooting as well. 3 for 9, 0 for 2 on threes. But he did have the 10 rebounds. Just as I said, I don't want to get too into the stats because it was a easy win, a blowout. We were just, as Roy would say, that much more blessed or talented than Elon. But Seventh Woods, only 3 points, but he did have 5 assists. Leaky Black as well, 5 assists to go with his 8 points and 6 rebounds. So we can start to see how much of a stat stuffer he can be with 8 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists from Leaky. And he's just looking really impressive early on here. And then we got 12 minutes from B-Rob. We got 9 from Playtech. They both give us 6 points. And then, we got obviously some Blue Steel guys coming in the end. They got some good minutes this game, 4 minutes. Brandon Huffman actually only 2 minutes. I don't know why his were less than some of those, Caleb Ellis and KJ Smith and Shea Rush, but still gave us 2 points. I think it was a monster's dunk in there that he gave us, but easy win to move us to 2-0. Helped Elon open up their gym, gave them kind of the game of the century for them, at least decade, opening up their gym. So good on Roy for going to Wofford, to Elon to start the game or start the season. Like I said, good test, good road wins. We move into the home opener against Stanford, a Power 5 team, finally playing a Power 5 team at the Smith Center on Roy Williams Court for the first time officially in a game. And we took it to him in the first half, I should say. And again, the press conference afterwards, Roy was talking about how the defense wasn't all that good. They were missing open shots and stuff like that. But I think our defense was pretty good in the first half. We did get really sloppy and kind of ugly in the second half, but still came away with a 90-72 victory. Like I said, we were winning 52-26 at half, so they did outscore us 46-38 in the second half. But again, it's that human nature. You get such a big lead that you just kind of take it easy, take your foot off the pedal, and not that we want to see that, but this was just so lopsided. One of the announcers, Jay Bills or somebody, in the first half, we just kind of took them out of everything they wanted to do. Like, we beat them in every facet of the game. It wasn't like we were just shooting lights out to get that lead, or they were just shooting so poorly to get that lead. They shot 35%, 36% in the first half. We did shoot 60%, but again, we were getting the shots we wanted, and everything was just kind of flowing. Stats wise, let's see here. We out rebounded them 45-35, just 13 offensive rebounds to their 11 offensive rebounds, 19 assists, 12 turnovers. So again, Still, I think a little bit too many turnovers. I would guess if there's a breakdown first half, second half, most of our turnovers in the second half, we got pretty sloppy. Kobe had 3 turnovers, Seventh had 3 turnovers. So again, what we were talking about in that Elon game, still something we need to work through in this one. 7 steals in this game. Let's see. Like I said, we shot 60% in the first half, 39% in the second half. So again, it's just not the same efficiency or execution because of kind of that score. And even free throws, we were only 67% as a team shooting free throws. Threes, we actually shot pretty good both halves, 43% in the first half, 50% in the second half. So pretty good there. Individually, Cam Johnson led us. Again, 17 points. He's averaging like 18.5 points this season. He's just, again, efficient. 7 for 11 shooting again, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. And then we had Luke May with 16 quiet points. He had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a block. Let's see here. And we've talked about his free throws, and I just talked about how good we were last game as a team. He was 5 for 9, which, kind of affects that's probably why our free throws were at 67% this game as opposed to 70 or plus in the previous games. But let's see. Then we had Garrison and Kenny. Both had 12 points. Kenny came out of his slump. He got a layup early. He was 4 for 6 shooting, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. He also had 4 assists. It's really nice, those assist numbers. We got Luke with 3. We got Kenny with 4, Kobe with 4, Seventh with 4. So, again, it's not even just our point guard. It's everybody distributing and getting other people in the position to score. So Garrison Brooks, like I said, 12 points as well, 8 rebounds for him, 5 for 8 shooting. Gave us an assist and a block as well. And then Kobe gave us 9 points, 2 for 8 shooting. So again, he's still got to pick his spots. Like I said, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. Somebody asked me, 3 games in now, because excuse me, the question was preseason, who should start, who should get the minutes and stuff. And they asked now who, I think it was Brandon Marsh, who hopefully will be our stats guy this season. I haven't hit him up for him yet, but have thought about it. But he asked, 3 games in now, who would I like to see starting or who should get those minutes? And I kind of like exactly how it is. Kobe has some stuff he's got to work through, but I think getting those minutes, he played 21 minutes this game, gives him the opportunity, and to make some of those mistakes helps him work through some of those mistakes so that, ACC time, he knows when to go and when he can be successful getting into the lane, as opposed to when it looks like he's going to, end up with a turnover or bad shot or anything like that. So, he did miss a couple of pretty good shots, open mid-range shots, which is going to happen. But I love, he pushes the pace so much. And I've always said it, as I've coached, not college basketball, as I've coached basketball, you'd rather have somebody that you have to try to slow them down a little bit, hold them back a little bit, as just trying to kick somebody in the rear to get them going. And that's definitely Kobe. He's going, which I love. And then I think Seventh is kind of a good compliment to him, as he's just kind of been steady this season. He's been good. Not going to give us the scoring punch maybe off the bench or anything, but just been steady, and it's been good. People have said it as well, like we can take Kobe out and he sits and watches Seventh and just kind of a different pace, but also just kind of a steady hand there. So I like it. And then Leaky Black, like I said, in Elon, he looked equally impressive here in the Stanford game. He had 8 points, 4 for 4 shooting, an assist, a couple of steals, a couple of rebounds in 15 minutes. But he is, again, you just see what he is going to be able to do, especially in the next couple of years, as long as he's around. I don't know, maybe he blows up next year, but I just can't say enough about the potential he looks like. Especially Kobe and Nasir have gotten all of the attention as freshmen, but Leaky is right there and just looks really good. But as far as otherwise, Nasir Little also gave us 8 points, 5 rebounds, again, 3 of them offensive. He shot 4 for 10, 0 for 3 on the 3-point line. So again, if he can knock down the 3-pointers, he's just that much more scary. But another alley-oop highlight. But really, what stuck out about Nasir so far is his effort. And we said this after the All-Star games that he won the MVP of. What stuck out about him was the effort that he had compared to the other top guys. And there was a play early in the first half where he was diving on the floor. There was like 3 Stanford guys, and he just showed the passion, the intensity that you want to see, especially from a freshman like that, and a highly touted guy like that. But he got 24 minutes, so people are like, oh, he should be starting. He's getting the same amount of minutes. I mean, Luke had 26 minutes to lead us. Otherwise, it's Cam and Nasir at 24, so he's getting the second most amount of minutes, along with Kenny at 22, Kobe at 21. So yeah, there's nothing he needs to worry about, as far as that goes. Sterling Manley gave us 4 points, did foul out late, gave us 5 rebounds, 2 for 7 shooting in this one, so struggled a little bit more. He had a nice kind of turnaround shot, but then I think it got to his head. He was a little bit too confident, took more of those, and not the same result. Let's see, as far as other stats, we had a lot of guys with double-figure minutes, and again, blowout like this, why not? We know Roy is going to do that, but we had, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys with at least 11 minutes or more, and then Playtech had 6 as well, which it still does surprise me that Playtech's only getting 6 to 9 minutes a game, as much as Roy has liked him. But again, I think that talks to Leakey's abilities and how quickly he's adapted to the college game and to the system and stuff like that. It's just been really impressive. But 90-72 win over Stanford brings us to 3-0 on the season. We got a couple of more, I would say, easier kind of guaranteed wins here for the Heels before it really ramps up over Thanksgiving, getting to the Big Ten Challenge, the CBS Sports Challenge, the Gonzaga game, and then into Christmas break, which is usually a struggle as far as the students and the intensity in the Dean Dome and stuff like that. But and then right into ACC play. So obviously we're not going to look that far ahead here. We're looking ahead first to Tennessee Tech this Friday, November 16th. It's a 7 p.m. Eastern tip in Chapel Hill. TV-wise, it says it's on RSN. So if you're local, it should be on a local channel there. I usually here in Tennessee can still find it on a station, not having to watch on Watch ESPN app or whatever, ESPN3, but it should be on there as well, I think. And then the following Monday, the 19th of November, we play St. Francis of Pennsylvania at 8 p.m. Eastern tip. In Chapel Hill, and the TV is ACC Network Extra. So that one we will have to watch on the Watch ESPN or ESPN3, whatever it is now, app. A lot of people have stuff to stream it on their TV. I do as well. So I still watch it on the TV, but the DVR, the whole rewind stuff, isn't there, which I kind of like. But I don't know a ton, really anything about these teams. I don't have their schedules in front of me, anything like that. But like I said, I am from Tennessee. I know where Tennessee Tech is and all that stuff. But as far as basketball goes, again, these are games. If we lose one of these, something went wrong. We did not come out with the right intensity or never found it. And Roy's going to be really upset, even more upset than he was after the second half of Stanford when we got so sloppy. He'll be a lot more upset. We should, especially Tennessee Tech, we should come out because Roy should be on these guys, or he will be on these guys. I don't think it's that warranted, but he was pretty ticked. So I'm sure film and stuff, he's going to be after the guys after the Stanford game. They'll be ready to show out against Tennessee Tech, at least in the first half, get that win. And then we just got to take care of St. Francis before Thanksgiving when we got to Las Vegas. So, the Heels are rolling. Like I said, the season's rolling. The Heels are rolling. We're ready to go. I'm ramped up, excited, all that stuff. But that covers our games this week. I will podcast again probably next Tuesday after the St. Francis game before Thanksgiving game. So make sure you're subscribed and tuning in for those games. Quick look around college basketball. Duke moved up to number 1 over Kansas, even though Kansas didn't lose, mainly because of the way they looked against Kentucky. It is noted that they didn't look as good against Army. I believe that game was at home in Cameron. We know they're not, unbeatable or anything like that. So, cool your jets on that. One team that's been really impressive early this season is Auburn. They just completely wiped out Washington, who had a lot of hype about them. And they just look like they co-champions of the SEC last year. But they just seem like they've continued. They're not starting over or anything like that. The chemistry of the team, the way they're playing, they look really good. And there's a potential matchup in Maui early next week. I don't know if it'd be Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know if it's quarterfinals or semifinals of Maui. Could possibly be Duke and Auburn if they both win. I think it would be the quarterfinals if they both win the first game. Duke and Auburn would play. That'd be a heck of a game to watch. Or hopefully, again, if the big games like that, Duke gets up, obviously we've seen what they can do to Kentucky, but it's also noted Kentucky struggled against Southern Illinois in Rupp. So, like I said, it wasn't all Duke in that game. Some of it was the way Kentucky looked. That needs to be noted and remembered as well. But Gonzaga is also out in Maui, so there's a potential either Duke Gonzaga matchup in the championship, or if Auburn were to beat Duke, Auburn Gonzaga game in the championship, that would also be a really good game if that happens. So Maui, as usual, should be interesting to watch. Of course, we got our guys out in Las Vegas. A lot of those Thanksgiving tournaments going on. There's the NIT preseason, I believe. So if you want to get away from football a little bit or prefer basketball to football like I do, especially college basketball, there'll be plenty of it next week. I think they call it Feast Week on ESPN. So excited about that. And then ending out, we're going to end with the Duke Sucks segment. Unfortunately, I had one, and then I didn't write it down, and so I don't know what it is. So again, Duke Sucks brought to us by the Rafters podcast, Andy and Reed, who wrote the book, Duke Sucks. You can check it out on Amazon. Or anywhere books are sold. I think especially in North Carolina area, but I've seen it in bookstores even here in Tennessee. So, make sure you guys are sending in if there's any articles, anything from Duke guys of the NBA, anything like that. Just kind of shows why Duke is what we know it to be. Please send those to me through Twitter DM, Instagram DM. Both of those are at AltarHillDan, or email unchoopstalk@gmail.com. Make sure. And then if you send them, I'll have them written down and I can look back and I won't forget as well. We're going to end hopefully every podcast now with the Duke Sucks segment. And then before I do send you out, again, I want to thank you guys for listening. If you're with me at this point, I know you enjoy the podcast and supporter, and make sure you're subscribed wherever you are. Make sure you're connected with me on social media. Everything to do that will be down below in the description. And if there's more you want to do to support the podcast, let me know. I'm not even going to, give those out here. I just want you guys to hit me up, and I'll let you know how else you can support the podcast if that's something you'd be willing and want to do. But then, as usual, I do stream this on YouTube live when I record it, and I always throw it out there, leave questions and comments for the end of the show. So that's where we are right now, and it looks like we got a good amount here, so that's good. We got Tar Heel Nation on YouTube. Your first message, Tar Heel Nation, was retracted. I don't know what it said, but next it says Cam is shooting the lights out. Cam right now is 10 for 14 from 3, which is just insane, and he just looks so confident, so smooth. It's unbelievable. And then Tar Heel Nation also said, I love Leaky Black at point, not out of control. He just seems like he's under control. I mean, he's not super fast, but obviously we know how long he is. Just looks like he's in control of himself at all times, which is crazy as a freshman, but awesome to see. Terrence Murray says, I like Leaky at point guard. I think the offense runs more smooth with him at that position. Yeah, I've said enough about Leaky, hopefully. And this is they fell. I don't know what that means, Terrence Murray, but yeah. Grant Bowden says, hey, Dan, as much as I want to see Woods have success, wondering if you think Leaky should get more of the backup point guard minutes. I mean, we'll see. It's still really early. Like I said, I think 7th has looked pretty good this season. Obviously, Roy likes his juniors, his seniors, his upperclassmen, guys with experience. We'll see when we get into the bigger games. Again, I've praised Leaky enough on this podcast. You guys know what I think, but if we get into some of those games and Leaky still looks as good, he's going to start getting more of those minutes. He's going to start taking Brandon Robinson's minutes on the wing, maybe taking some of Seventh Woods, or maybe if Kobe is still struggling a little bit too much with turnovers, taking a little bit of minutes from Kobe. I don't know, but Roy's going to find him minutes if Leaky keeps looking the way he does. And Tar Heel Nation says, I'm watching teams have open three-pointers and miss. We have to tighten up our D, or we're going to get smoked one day. Well, we know that's always going to happen. We know there's going to be teams nailing threes on us. We know we struggle to guard the three-point line, the way we play defense, the way we help and recover. It just happens. But it's true. It's been true every season, and it's going to be a frustration for us fans. And just, we got to hope that it doesn't happen too often. But Terrence Murray says, our defense defending the three has always been a weakness. We just said that. Obviously, you didn't know I was going to. But Grant Bowden says, perimeter defense has driven me nuts over the past 5 years. So, obviously a lot of comments about that. And then Terrence Murray says that's one of Roy's flaws, his philosophy defending the three, right? Terrence says Leaky is a sleeper. I think nationally he's a sleeper. I think as Tar Heel fans, he's going to be less and less of a sleeper here really quickly if he keeps it up. And then Terrence says, if Manley can step up and be consistent, this team can go far. Everybody's been on the Manley train. I don't know. I haven't been as much on Manley as, Garrison's just looked better than Manley this season, minus probably the Elon game. It's the one game, but still Garrison didn't look bad. It just looked like Manley looked better. I think Manley's got the length that people like. I think he still struggles with his conditioning, even though he's passed all the conditioning tests. I think he's still a little struggling there, but I don't know. And then I don't know how to pronounce this name on YouTube, but he says, thanks for the report, especially Stanford's I didn't get a chance to watch. Looks like Roy is being very fair, objective with his playing time. He always is this early in the season. And then he also says, good for recruiting if freshmen know they have a fair chance for PT. It's something fans have worried about with the way Roy allocates playing time. But Tar Heel Nation says Auburn will play Duke. We will see then. We talked about that game. And then the hard name, or I don't know what you'd say about that, but it says Duke started skimming half or more of UK's one and doners. He says UK needed to be able to corral about 5 of the top 10 every year to make the indentured servitude pipeline work. And then Terrence Mann, the last comment, says, my bad, I put the asleep emoji. It's all good. There's our comments. If you want to be able to leave comments and be on the show here, obviously subscribe on YouTube and hit the little bell so you get a notification when I go live and you can watch the show live. I don't have a very set time to record the podcast, and so it's kind of hit or miss. I can't, I believe next Tuesday will be the next time I do it in between those games, but I'm hoping to do some more night podcasts to get fans, get you guys on here, guests on, and then also hopefully more people can watch, but no guarantee there for sure. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that little bell on YouTube if that's where you want to watch or want to be able to do it live. That'll help you out. But otherwise, subscribe where you are. Share this with friends and family, Tar Heel friends and family, especially over Thanksgiving, meeting with your family or with friends. Share it with them, and let's unite Tar Heel Nation here. And that's all I got for you guys this week. I will see you guys next week. Thanks again for listening. Until then, go Heels.